Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. I am Muhammad Yasin. This is virtual class of Pakistan International School Taif. This class is for the students of grade 9. This is our 19th video in this class. And today we are going to do chapter 10. Dear students, after today's lesson, we shall be able to do translation exercise given on grammar page 90. We shall be able to understand the passage given in chapter 10. We shall be able to understand the meaning and correct pronunciation of new words. And we shall do the exercises of chapter 10. Let us start. First of all, we shall do translation exercise given on page 90. That exercise is about negative and interrogative sentences. To do this exercise, it is important to read page number 89. Here it is mentioned that the coming exercise is about negative and interrogative sentences. What is negative? In negative and interrogative sentences, not is used between is or am. Dear students, is, am, are helping verbs. To make a sentence negative, we use not after is, after am, after are. But in interrogative sentences, is, am, or is placed before the subject. You can see here is written in the beginning to make the sentence negative. Dear students, to do the next exercise, it is very important you read all these sentences and in fact memorize them. When you have memorized them, you are ready to do the next exercise. Here on this page there are 14 sentences. There are more sentences on the next page. You can see total there are 25 sentences. It is important for all of you to learn them. To memorize them means you should know what is the translation of this sentence. If someone asks you, क्या भूखे आदमी को खाना खिलाया जाता है? You should be able to tell its English translation. This is what I want to say. You should prepare these 25 sentences in such a way that if someone asks you the translation of this sentence, you could answer. This is the exercise exactly that we are going to translate in English. Dear students, some vocabulary is given here to facilitate you to translate it into English. For example, first sentence is बुरी सोहबत कैसे इख्तियार की जाती है? So you can see here number one. Number one means बुरी सोहबत is number one and its translation is given here, bad company. After this here is written to. This means ikhtiyar karna. Translation of ikhtiyar karna is given here to adopt. Now with the help of these two phrases you can translate this sentence into English very easily. For example, you will say, how bad company is adopted. How bad company is adopted. If you have done previous exercises, you may remember all these are in passive voice. This exercise is also in passive voice. All the sentences are in passive voice. Negative and interrogatives will also be in passive voice. Yes, what will be the translation of first sentence? It will be how bad company is adopted. Let us see. I have written here, how is the bad company adopted? क्या जुमा बाजार में सस्ती चीजें बेची जाती हैं? Are cheap goods sold in जुमा बाजार? बाग से सेब नहीं चुराए जाते हैं. Apples are not stolen from the orchard. Orchard is a place where there are fruit trees. Number 4 is अदालत में झूठ नहीं बोला जाता है. Lie is not told in the court. मोटर गाड़ियां कहाँ नीलाम की जाती हैं? नीलाम करना is written here number 4. You can see its translation here. नीलाम करना to auction. Its translation will be where are the motor vehicles auctioned. We have done 5 parts. Part number 6 is क्या रेलवे स्टेशन पर सामान तोला जाता है? Is luggage weighted at railway station? इस रजिस्टर में दस्तखत नहीं किए जाते हैं. Signatures are not signed in this register. ऐसे बुरे आदमी को माफ नहीं किया जाता है. Such a bad man is not forgiven. मकान में सफेदी कब की जाती है? When is the house whitewashed? क्या रुपया बैंक में जमा किया जाता है? Is money deposited in bank? Part 11 is इनाम किसको दिया जाता है? Who is given prize? Part number 12 किस दरिया पर पुल बांधा जाता है? At which river bridge is fastened or constructed? 13 इस छापाखाने में इश्तिहार नहीं छापे जाते हैं. Advertisements are not printed in this printing press. कॉलेज में तलबा कब दाखिल किए जाते हैं? When are the students admitted in college? 15 आम यहाँ से लाहौर नहीं भेजे जाते हैं. Mangoes are not sent to Lahore from here. क्या आपके स्कूल में अंग्रेजी अखबार पढ़ा जाता है? Is English newspaper read in your school? I'm sorry. कमरा इम्तिहान में नकल कैसे की जाती है? How is it copied in examination room? क्या हर साल गांव सजाया जाता है? Is the village decorated every year? बाज आदमी पहचाने नहीं जाते हैं. Some people are not recognized. मुझे घर से क्यों निकाला जाता है? Why am I turned out of the house? 21 is हमीद को क्या सजा दी जाती है? What punishment is exercised on हमीद? क्या कुत्ते को रात के वक्त खोल दिया जाता है? Is the dog unchained at night? unchain is given here also to facilitate you to do this exercise. Dear students, we have completed this exercise. Let us move to our lesson number 10. First of all, we shall look at a few new words. They will help us to understand the lesson. First word is absolute. Absolute means complete. Next word is influence. Influence means the power to change people or think. Taboo. Taboo means something that you should not say or do. You should not say, you should not do, because people generally think it is morally wrong, unpleasant or embarrassing. That is called taboo. Curative. Curative means able to cure or cause to get better. Rehabilitation means the process of returning to a healthy or good way of life. Relapse means to become ill or start behaving badly again. Dear students, this is the first page of our lesson. Exactly, it looks like this. The title of the lesson is Drug Addiction. Chapter number 10, it is Drug Addiction. This is the picture to say no to drugs. Dear students, this is the passage. This is paragraph 1. I shall read main points from each paragraph for you to develop some understanding of the passage. You will come to know that what is given in this passage. The first question, while reading the paragraph, you will try to find out the answer of this question. Question is, are drug addicts aware of the dangers of drugs? Let us read and try to find out the answer. Drug addiction is a common problem all over the world today. There are many forms of drug addiction, but the most dangerous of all is the absolute dependence on it. Long-term use of drugs cause permanent mental and physical sickness. The more dangerous a substance is used, the more risky it becomes. Yes, students, we come to know mostly drug addicts know the dangers of drugs, but they use it. Let us move forward. You can read this passage in detail by yourself. I shall read and discuss with you main points. The question for this paragraph is, which environmental factors are responsible for drug addiction? Dear students, drug addiction means to take a chemical which is heroin or something like that. After taking it, there are different ways to take it. After taking it, the person does not remain in senses. That is drug addiction. Drug addiction is caused by environmental factors. Sometimes environmental factors are the causes of drug addiction also. A few important environmental factors that may cause drug addiction are bad peer influence. If someone has bad friends, he can start taking drugs. And troubled domestic background. If there is some problem at home, the person can be inclined towards the drugs. When young people remain in bad company and do experiments in the name of adventure, they may fall a prey to addiction. The people who are dissatisfied and discontented with their lives may also resort to drug addiction. Yes, students, which environment factors? You can say peer influence and troubled domestic background are the causes of drug addiction. Paragraph 3 is the most important measure to be taken in this regard is the rehabilitation and recovery of a drug addict. In many countries, including Pakistan, addicts, their families and friends consider it a taboo to share their problem with others. Yes, students, this is a big problem. If someone is drug addict in a family, family members don't tell others, they hide him from the society. They don't take him to the rehabilitation center. Rehabilitation center is a ward in the hospital or a hospital where he can be cured by giving him medicines. But people don't take him to the hospital. Why? Because they feel if we take him to the hospital, our relatives will come to know that our son or daughter or someone is drug addict. It will be embarrassing for us. That is why they don't take him or her to the hospital. This not only makes the cure difficult, but in most cases the addicts die due to lack of timely treatment and counseling. This is paragraph 4. The question about this paragraph is what treatment is available at rehabilitation centers for drug victims? Rehabilitation centers are the best places for the control and recovery process. These centers look after them, complete medical support, and guidance is provided to these people. In these centers, drug abusers therefore must be taken to proper and certified rehabilitation centers where proper treatment and cure is available for them. Yes, students, do we come to know the answer of this question? What treatment is available at rehabilitation center? Yes, we have learned that these centers look after them and complete medical support and guidance is provided to the drug addicts. This is the next paragraph. What is the question here? What do you understand by the term counseling? The other factor that contributes in rehabilitation of the drug victim is proper counseling. The sooner it is done, the better it is for the victim. Yes, students. The counseling process must continue even after the drug abuser is rehabilitated because of the dangers of the relapse. Relapse means to start taking drugs again. Counseling is the discussion done by the doctor. He guides the patient to stay away from the drugs. This is paragraph 6. Drug addiction is really a very serious threat to any society. In Pakistan alone, there are almost 5 million drug addicts. Addicts undergo numerous economic, social and health problems. The governments all over the world have been trying to eliminate drug addiction from society, but still more efforts are needed to completely wipe it out. Dear students, this is the theme of this lesson. The theme revolves around harmful effects of drug addiction. It also refers to the importance of rehabilitation centers in treating drug addicts. It highlights the vital role that counseling play in making people live a healthy life. This is glossary. Word meanings are given here. Most of the words we have discussed in our pronunciation section. They are absolute, influence, taboo, curative, rehabilitation, relapse. Relapse means go back to again, to start drug. Taking drugs again. Dear students, this is oral activity. Usually we do such type of oral activities in the class. Some boys are invited in front of the class. Groups are made to discuss oral activity. For example, here is written, drug addiction is a growing problem in Pakistan. Every year many young people fall victim to this life-threatening problem. Make groups and chalk out a prevention plan against drug addiction. Prepare a class presentation on prevention plan. As we are not in school, you can dial phone to your class fellows to discuss the matter of drug addiction. Presentation is not possible, but discussion can be done, and you can discuss with your class fellows to find out the prevention plan. How can we prevent drug addiction? You can discuss with your class fellows. Exercise B is discuss in class how can awareness be raised among people about the rehabilitation center and its benefits. Yes, we can raise awareness in society to use rehabilitation centers, and we can guide them about the benefits of counseling. You can discuss on phone with each other this exercise also. I have written here the answers of all the questions given inside the lesson. You found some questions written in boxes in the lesson. I have written their answers here also. For example, the first question was, are drug addicts aware of the dangers of drugs? Yes, they are aware of the permanent mental and physical sickness caused by drugs. They know that it can cause irregular or rapid heart rate, heart failure, blood-borne diseases like hepatitis or HIV, high blood pressure, impotence or infertility, learning and memory problem. Dear students, all these are given in your book. And we think drug addicts are very well aware of these problems, but still they use the drugs. Next question is, which environmental factors are responsible for drug addiction? You have read it in your lesson. Important environmental factors responsible for drug addiction are bad peer influence, troubled domestic background, depression, anxiety, and some more are mentioned here. You can learn them for your examination. Question number 3 is, what treatment is available at rehabilitation centers for drug victims? Complete medical support, proper counseling, strict supervision, and guidance are available at rehabilitation centers for the drug victims. Dear students, the most important is counseling. Counseling is the discussion done by the doctor, professional doctor, and he guides the patient to stay away from drugs. Question number 4 is, what do you understand by the term counseling? It is a process of professional guidance of the individual by utilizing psychological methods, especially in collecting case history data, using various techniques of the personal interview, and testing interests and aptitudes. All this is to answer this question. Dear students, now we are going to start the questions which are given in the exercise of the lesson. At the end of the lesson, there are some questions. Now we shall answer these questions. First question is, what are the effects of drug addiction? So many are mentioned in your book. I have mentioned some of them here. Drug addiction causes permanent mental and physical sickness. It can cause irregular or rapid heart rate, heart failure, bloodborne diseases. Dear students, you may have noted here some of the sentences are repeating in each answer. Yes, it will happen. This is not a problem. You will use several sentences in each answer. When you are writing the answers here, you find it repeating, but when you will write the answer in your examination, about one question will come from this lesson. You will write all those sentences. You will not be repeating in your examination. You are repeating here in the class while answering the questions. But there will be no repetition in the examination because more than one question from this lesson will not be there in the examination. Let us move to the next question. What are the causes of drug addiction? Main causes of drug addiction are bad peer influence, troubled domestic background, depression, anxiety, dissatisfaction, and a few more are mentioned here, which are considered main causes of drug addiction. Question number 3 is, what important role do rehabilitation centers play to control drug addiction? Rehabilitation centers provide complete medical support, proper counseling, strict supervision, and guidance for the drug victims. The professional counselor advises the family and friends to watch critically and counsel the victim for better motivation and adjustment until the victim initiates honest communication with the relatives and loved ones. Question number 4 is, what is the role of counseling in preventing drug addiction? Counseling is a major factor in preventing drug addiction. It motivates and raises willpower of the victims to face the factors causing drug addiction. The professional counselor advises the family and friends to watch critically and counsel the victim for better motivation and adjustment until the victim initiates honest communication with the relatives and loved ones. Question number 5 is, why do families feel reluctant to take drug victims to drug rehabilitation centers? We have discussed it before also. The families feel reluctant to take the drug victims to drug rehabilitation centers because of embarrassment and fear of being declared an outcast. Usually, they are not fully aware of the role of rehabilitation centers in the life of a drug victim and the importance of taking the drug victim to the rehabilitation centers. Question number 6 is, what are the responsibilities of the families to ensure complete recovery of such patients? The responsibilities of the families are, they should take drug abusers, drug addicts to proper and certified rehabilitation centers where proper treatment and cure is available for them. They should continue to watch critically and counsel the victim even after the rehabilitation for better motivation and adjustment until the victim starts proper communication with relatives and the loved ones. Dear students, this was question number 6. That is enough for today. We shall do remaining exercises in our next lesson. Dear students, in your homework, you will do the translation exercise in your notebook. After that, you will read the passage given in chapter 10. It is better to read it 2-3 times to develop a better understanding of the passage. Then you will do all exercises of chapter 10 in your notebook, which are done in today's lesson. Dear students, we have done question answers. It will be very important for you to memorize the answers and write them in your notebook. That is all from our today's lesson. See you later in our next lesson. Goodbye.